Welcome to the YellBro. I am Jordan, and today we're going to do a little psychology or philosophy. We're going to listen to the Gabor Mate, daddy of I Wish I Was Gabor, Aaron Mate. Uh, and the name of the video, I think, is Same Parents, Different Childhoods. So this might be interesting. I've not watched this. I'm curious. But first, do not forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. And also check out the very top link. Should be for a Discord for anyone to join if they want to. Just don't do trolly shit. You know, it's there for ideas and art and music and, you know, all that shit. TV, politics. Let it fly. No opinions are banned. I don't care what the topic is. You could be the most quote-unquote racist guy of all time. Say what you think. That is always allowed. It's more so of the trolling dick pics. Don't do that. Otherwise, you'll be banned to my normal Discord. But yeah, check out all the links, description box. Thank you. All right, so I remember hearing I guess hearing about Gabor Mate years ago when I used to be like a Democracy Now! Watcher. I remember him being on there, and he talked about trauma quite a bit. I think he was on Rogan's, too, like years later, but I found him more so on Democracy Now! I looked into him. I listened to lectures from the guy. Interesting person. Interesting ideas. And the ties of trauma to our behavior. And hopefully, most people recognize that, like, when we forget or repress or hide some of these psychological things from ourselves, maybe events, experiences, faculties even, if we hide those things, they could play out anyways in front of our eyes because we start behaving on them without realizing we're doing it. And thus it's like some sort of like mystery hand, like guiding your movements, when in reality it's just parts of you that you're ignoring. And I think I like the way Gabor Mate has talked about that, you know, throughout time. Not saying I agree with every little thing he says, but that is an idea that is god awfully needed. Oh my dear lord, you political heads out here, you fucking need this shit. Forgive me. I think a lot of you need this shit. Quote unquote need. Right? Yeah, because a lot of times, if you look in the political world, or even like the entertainment and film and stuff like that, like anything, you can see some sort of thing, some sort of itch in the back of their minds that are driving them that they don't fucking realize they're doing. And it takes them 20, 30, 40 years later, it's like, oh fuck, now you figured out why you were supporting this war or illegals. You know, you don't like illegals, right? Or fucking trans people. Right? Maybe you're gay the whole time, you didn't know it. Because you're because you're running away from yourself. And trust me, that is no way to fly. I promise you. You're gonna I don't care what type of person you are, I don't care if you're corrupt to the most righteous on planet Earth. You want to be able to know what you're doing and be in some sense of control over it. Not like hardcore control, but control in the sense of I know what I'm doing. Even when I let go and just free flow dance, right? I know I'm free flowing and dancing. You just want to be aware of it, to be able to observe it, instead of, you know, someone just plays this song and you automatically dance this certain way to it. That feels like I don't think anyone wants to feel that like they're, you know, like they're not themselves, like it's someone else pulling the strings. So navigating your own psyche, yes, with psychoanalysts or analysis. Sorry, Candace, or anyone like that. Anti-psychology people or whatever. Well, maybe anti-mainstream psychology. Whatever. Fair enough. I think these are heavily important, especially in the world of politics. And without further ado, I'm going to let this run. Here we go. Here's some lady with Gabor Mate.
Siblings can grow up in the same house.
No siblings grow up in the same house. No siblings have the same parents. No siblings have the same family. No siblings have the same childhood. Why not? Number one, there's the birth order. Parents don't relate to the first child the way they relate to the second child. Then there's gender differences. And I'm not talking about whether parents love the kids or not. I'm talking about what actually happens. The child doesn't experience the parents' love. The child experiences the way the parent shows up. Number two, the parents' relationship might be in a different phase, one child than another.
Whoa, okay. I feel like I should go slow with this and go idea at a time, because he's just rattling them off. So I'm going to start over and just try to go, I guess, point for point with this and just say what I think about it. Here we go.
Siblings can
That
grow
was
up
a
in the
lot.
same house.
No siblings grow up in the same house. No siblings have the same parents. No siblings have the same family. No siblings have the same childhood. Why not?
Now, I believe that in regards to just because individuals, no individual can occupy, like truly occupy the space of another individual. And I mean that more of the psychological sense of it. And spiritual, if you want to go there, if you want to go full woo-woo. So no matter what, whether they're identical twins, taller, shorter, anything, they will see a different perspective than someone else. Thus, it's probably more so of like a reflection. Like their idea of the parent is the thing they're actually negotiating with rather than the actual person, right? And that's just simple because parents hide things from their kids, right? They hide, I don't know, a smoking habit, or when mom and dad want to get kinky, they hide it from the kids, right? And maybe early on, like, oh, you know, Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny or Tooth Fairy or whatever the fuck, right? So the kids aren't actually experiencing the infinity of their parents. What they're getting is, in a way, a glimpse, and they're taking that glimpse and turning it into an entire, like, skyscraper of who the person is. Now, in a sense, that can be dangerous, because what if you're thinking of your parents one way? Oh, my dad's my hero, or my mom's my hero, and the way they behave, it's so awesome. These are great parents. And then something happened that breaks the structure a little bit. It maybe knocks a few floors out of that tower you built. And thus, it may cause a ripple effect where, like, damn, is my whole idea of my parents wrong? Maybe I thought of them as, like, heroes, but in reality, maybe they're not. Or the other way around. That can happen the other way around. Imagine someone who's like, yeah, my parents are abusive, they're trash, I hate them, I don't like them. And then you find out, like, oh no, they did some shit that they sacrificed something about themselves to help protect their kid, aka them. Like, oh fuck, that tower I built of this person being a piece of shit is now kind of knocked down a bit. Right? It's like you start realizing to harm the other is to harm yourself a little bit. I don't know. But just throwing ideas out there. Let's back up just a
Wait, are you recording?
I am.
Okay.
Alright. Alright, let's keep playing. Once again, guys, I'm just riffing off of ideas I'm hearing. I'm not saying this is what Gabor thinks, or, you know, that I'm exactly perfectly analyzing what he's saying. I'm just hearing words and kind of riffing into my own sense of things. But, alright, here we go.
Why not? Number one, there's the birth order. Parents don't relate to the first child the way they relate to the second child. Then there's gender differences.
Now, once again, if they're the same gender and relatively born at the same time, like twins, they still get treated differently because they're two different beings occupying two different spaces. I mean, that's just understood on the egotistical level, right? I don't mean egotistical as in narcissism. I mean egotistical in the sense of discernment and discrimination between, like, left and right, up and down, water bottle, computer, right? You make those distinctions between each other, right? You can't, if you have twins, you can't treat Johnny and Tommy the exact same. It's just, you can't do that because they're not the same. Your ego recognizes that because whatever way you make a distinction. It might even be like, because of twins, you might even, like, look extra hard for how they're different. You might actually do that as a parent, like maybe subconsciously, who knows? But you can't treat two people the exact same. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Unless the idea is to step back and, okay, I want to see who you, like, you show me who you are. What type of person are you? You show me that. I guess you can treat two people the same like that. But then again, that's just leaving room for like so many different avenues of expression. But anyways, let's continue. Also, okay. Also on the social level, maybe that happens like socially because of conditioning. You may have a girl and you buy them dolls. Stereotypes, right? You buy them a doll. Your boy, you buy like action figures or I don't know, a monster truck or something, right? Like a toy monster truck. But that'd be attributed to conditioning versus genuine expression with your children, right? Or anyone, to be honest with you. And obviously age differences, like, yo, you need to look after your little brother, okay? You gotta look after them. That could be conditioned based on their own experience or their sense of older siblings versus younger siblings, right? But all right, here we go.
The differences. And I'm not talking about whether parents love the kids or not. I'm talking about what actually happens. The child doesn't experience the parents' love. The child experiences the way the parent shows up. Number two.
Interesting. Now this one, I don't know. I think there's room for a unspoken woo-woo sense of people's connections to each other, to where they are actually experiencing their love. Now, in my just jibber jabber idea of things, possibly I'll say like, well, maybe they can like like a moment shared, and it feels like you're feeling the same thing with someone else, right? But the egotistical like tether to it, that could be like just way different, right? Uh, it could be like, oh wow, like you'd have like a real empathetic moment of really feeling the other person's feelings as some sort of unspoken communication. But you could be thinking about a blue car and they're thinking about a red car. You know what I'm saying? Like the actual like aesthetic material or sense of material tether to the feeling or emotion itself. Right? So you can act. I think you can have that. Now, when he says like they experience the parent that shows up, I assume he means the persona or the mask, the social mask that the parent wears to deal with. Once like he already built it, right? Let's say there's siblings of two different ages. Like, oh, you're the older brother or the older sister. You got to look after the younger one, right? Thus, the parent that shows up would be different in that sense, right? But I do think maybe there's more of a social, not social, but like a human archetypal thing where maybe some people are a little bit more empathetic. They can feel those things a little bit harsher, or someone who's very socially intelligent and they can, oh, I see what you're doing. I'm the older brother. That's the younger brother. Thus, I treat them that way, or you expect me to treat them that way because of my social acumen. So there's a whole bunch of ideas to go with this, but all right, let's go on to number 2. Here we go.
Experiences the way the parent shows up. Number two, the parents' relationship might be in a different phase, one child and another. Then the parents might be in a different economic situation. The parents' lives might be different. Then each child will evoke a different response from the parent. You have 2 daughters and a son. I have 2 sons and a daughter. It's not that I loved or we loved any one of them more than the other, but we responded to them differently. And there's one more factor, which is children are born with different temperaments, which is they experience the world differently. So even if I could be the same parent to all my kids, which I couldn't be, they'd still have 3 different parents because they would experience me differently.
Siblings can grow.
Interesting. And I agree to some degree. Born with certain temperaments, I'd have to see like where to get that from. Because once again, you have the genealogical and biological and physical arguments for these things, or even a software like environment, right? Because they're born, one's born in the 80s, one's born in the 70s, so thus, socioeconomically, the world is different for them, and maybe they had a small house when the youngest was born, but they had a big house when had a small house when the oldest was born, and a big house when the youngest was born, and like thus they had different experiences, right? Okay, I get that, but if you add in some sense of woo-woo spirituality, that is going to beg 10 bajillion different questions. It really is. And Gabor Mate does bring up ideas of like stress contributing to, and I don't know what you would call it, abhorrent behavior, or he's talking about like drug abuse or self harm, or malevolent behavior in society. Right? Brings up like ideas of stress and how it can like kind of break someone down psychologically, and which leads to physicality breaking down. And it's like, well, where does that come from? How does that happen? Isn't stress based on a perception, right? Like, where does perception come from? Like, it begs a whole shit ton of questions. It really does. So it essentially remains a mystery that, although there are people that want to try to put it in a fucking beaker somewhere and try to measure it in a lab, I haven't seen anyone really make that case without it begging just more questions. Like, there's people who try to do experiments with all this stuff, right? But the results of the experiment, even if it looks like, oh shit, maybe there is a psychic connection between people, it just begs more questions. It really does. And maybe that's, I don't know, maybe there's a reason for that, or a purpose for that. Maybe a black swan is needed instead of the white swan in those scenarios. Or that movie Pi, right? Where he goes through the whole thing trying to figure it out, kind of like intellectually, and it's just like, oh fuck, I learned to just let go and just be, just exist, just be me. But still interesting. Always interesting with Gabor Mate. He usually says interesting stuff. Once again, not saying I agree with every little thing this guy's saying, but let me just
I'm not.
do that. Get rid of the circle wheel, the loading buffering wheel. But on a practical level, like, yeah, I think I agree. Like, on the surface level, obviously, I agree. But how these things come about, I think, is where the real questions are at. And I don't get paid enough to answer those. Nah. No, there should be like questions to mull over, I think. So that's a short one. Interesting video. Definitely made me start thinking, a little bit more than the fucking boxes of politics. The boring ass, gray, scaly boxes of politics. So I welcome this stuff. All right, there's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree, disagree. Tell me what you think. If you have other videos, maybe in this lane. I plan on doing that Alice in Wonderland video at some point, where I could talk about like themes from movies to psychology to the symbolism of it and philosophy behind it, as far as my ideas go. Not the definitive thing, but like what I think about it. Plan on doing that. And if anyone has any like videos or comments that are in relation to any of this stuff, or even you can tie it to politics too, I welcome that. Please do so. Don't forget to check out the links in the description box. Once again, that Discord link will be there for anyone who wants to join my brand new spanking new Discord and talk about stuff like this, or movies, or politics, or a mixture of all of them. That link will be there, along with some of the charities and donation links for people to, like, you can read their stories or hear what they're about, or just help someone out. All of that is welcomed, and I thank you for all of it. And with all that said, please give this video a thumbs down. Like, woo, 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 woo.